Good morning, Wiener. How you doing? It's pretty nice out here, eh? Yeah, we still got snow on the ground, but over half of it melted, I think. There's grass poking through there. I've had a very mild couple of days here this Christmas week. Chevy, stop eating the snow. Chevy, stop that. I don't know what you're eating there. It's probably not food. I didn't put any food there, so I can guarantee you it's not food. Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to my shop. I have to install the wiring for an inverter that I put in my truck so that I can have household power in the truck. I'll show you more once we get there. You hungry? Works every time. So that's a yes.
So weird. Like, really warm out today. Though it's not the first time we've had warm weather like this at this time of year. I remember when I was a kid, we had a brown Christmas. Like, all the grass and everything was dead and brown, but we had no snow. And it was nice and warm. It happened, I remember one distinct where we had 0 snow at Christmas when I was young. And we've had a couple of other mild winters as well. Though, you know, if you talk to people online, they're gonna make it sound like this is the end of the world. We've never seen it this warm before. Yes, we have. I remember it. Wasn't even that far in the past.
All right, we're here and I've got my 1-gauge wire. This is going to be the negative wire. I'm going to do the positive through first, though I'm not going to hook it up until everything is ready. So the first thing I've got to do now that I've got the wire, I got the positive wire in here with some wire loom around it to protect it. Okay, so I'm going to push that through a hole I'm going to drill in the floor by the inverter, which is underneath my sleeper. Now I'm going to drill a hole through there with this. 1 second here, let me get a good background so you can see. I'm going to drill a hole through there with this. Now once I have the hole in the floor, I've got this little rubber piece which will fit perfectly in there, and I've cut little slits in there, see, so that the 1-gauge wire with the wire loom can slip right through there. And then once I'm finished and everything's done, I'm just gonna fill up around the wire just a little bit of silicone just to completely seal that off, and that's gonna be sealed. Because the floor is just like a sheet of sheet metal, pretty much, underneath the flooring and the insulation. So I'm gonna drill a hole through there, stick this in there, and that, you can tell, just sits right on the sheet metal there, right on the flooring, so that the wire can go through it and have a rubber surround. And then I pull the wire through and I navigate it towards the battery box, which is underneath the steps on the driver's side. And I'll just get the wires up to the batteries, leave it there. And once I have everything connected, then I have to install the fuse, which is in here, right near the battery. It's a 300 amp fuse. The gauge of wire I'm using, the 1-gauge wire, has a rating of 800 amps. The highest amp, I explained this yesterday, the highest amp I could possibly pull through that wire with my 4,000 watt inverter off a 12 volt system is about 333 amps. That's the max. So there's no way I'm ever gonna pull through enough amps through the wire to melt it or for it to get too hot. So that's good. The wire's good. This is just a fuse for if anything shorts out. Before my inverter is maxed out, this will blow. And that'll be right by the battery so that the whole wire up to the inverter is protected, so that that doesn't get too hot and melt and cause a fire or something. That way I'm all fully protected. And then I will ground the inverter as well before I hook everything up, so that everything is ready to go. And then we'll, you know, tuck everything away and tie it up nice and neat out of the way, make it look nice. And then I can plug in household appliances like a nice air fryer and toaster and coffee maker and all kinds of stuff like that, a TV and PlayStation, whatever I want in my truck, I can hook it up because I have a 4,000 watt inverter and there's no way I could ever use all 4,000 watts. I never would. I would probably only use like up to maybe 1,500 at a time. If I have my laptop running, a microwave running, maybe I have an air fryer running at the same time, that might get up to 2,000, but we should be good. So let's begin installation. I've got my headlamp right here. Let's get this thing on my head. Let's get under the truck and mark where the wire is going to come through, and then drill our holes and get started. Okay, now looking into my passenger side cubby hole here, you look past all of my fluids and everything I have in here, and that's where the wall is right there. That means the inverter is right here, pretty much in line with this light, or just over halfway, almost 2/3 of the way from the back of the tank towards the front when I'm underneath there. That's where that wire is going to come through. And I'm going to be drilling a hole down there. So let's just go underneath there now, see if there's anything in the way. I don't want to drill into anything. So I've got my handy cardboard here because I am very fancy. Go underneath here now. It's a working truck, okay? So don't judge me. Don't judge it. Okay, it looks a little different on the bottom than it does on the top, unfortunately. Okay, so about 2/3 of the way from the tank to here. So that's approximately, let's say, right about here. And now the wires are going to be to this side of the drive shaft. They're going to be coming right through this section, right up there. And from what you can see here, there's a beam running right through the middle. We're not going to be hitting that. These are antifreeze lines. Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to bonk you guys on the drive shaft. You guys are up on my head here. I hope you can see what I'm talking about. See those lines up there? Those are coolant lines for the heater core in the back and air conditioning and whatnot. I actually have those turned off, so coolant doesn't actually run through those. I don't use the sleeper heater core. I need to actually replace it with a new one day yet, but whatever. That's besides the point. Can you guys still see? Where are you pointed? So this is the center. It'll be right about in here. This big open area here. That's where we're going to be drilling through. There's going to be 2 holes that come through there, and the wires are going to come down to here. From there, we're going to run them straight to this grouping of wires. Can you see them there? This grouping of wires here, we're going to zip tie them to that. I'm going to run it along there up towards the front. Oh, excuse me while I get turned around. They're going to come along with these wires here to the front, and then they're going to go over there and towards the battery box, which is right over there. So they're going to go right over. I'll probably move them to the side because I don't know if I want them to go right over the transmission. I want to keep them away from the heat of the motor. Right? I don't need any extra heat on those wires. So I might cut across down here, go around that way. We'll see, but we're eventually going to get it right to that box over there, and it's going to sneak in there, and then we'll hook it up, and it'll be nice and neat, all protected, all the way back to right about here, right? Right about here, yeah. That's where they'll come out. Okay. I gotta get you painted, girl. I know. Underneath here, it's a little bit older down here, right? Okay. Oh, I keep bumping my head. All right, let's get out of here. The plan is 1 more year, and then. 1 more year, and then I'm going to completely, we're taking everything off the frame of this truck. We're sandblasting and painting everything and stretching the frame out as well. So we have plans to take care of all this and get it repainted underneath here and sandblasted. But I need 1 more year out of you, girl, before we do that. You can do it. It's actually in really good shape. The truck's running very well. And it gets regular inspections too, so it's not just me under here. Okay, so 2/3 of the way, it's gonna come right here. Right there. It should be just fine. Yep. Right there. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Okay. Let's run the positive wire first. We're gonna fast forward a whole bunch. How the turns have tabled. Everything sort of changed. I did it a little bit differently than I was planning at first, but I like this better this way. So this is what I did. So I ran the wires. Here I have my fuse right here, right next to the battery terminal, so that's good. That will save that whole line. I've got my
Oh, you can't see it. Ah, shoot, it's all dark. All right, now we got light. Oh boy. It's so tough to get in here. So there we go. We got it all hooked up. We've got power for it up there. So instead of going straight through the floor down here under the bed, I'll show you what I did. In here, I came up through there, around here, and down through the hole that was already made there, and I just sealed it all up with some good silicone. It'll be drying overnight. That way, I didn't have to drill any new holes through the floor of the truck. I was kind of nervous about doing that to begin with, and it's just a lot easier for me. There's already a hole there. I didn't have a grommet for that big one, but like I showed you, I just filled it up with a bunch of silicone, sealed it in there. How do I turn this thing off? Why does this thing keep turning back? This thing's flashing now. What in the world's going on? I don't know how these toys work. Charging that overnight, that is very handy, having that headband. So long story short, I'm really tired. It's the end of the day. We got it installed. It's all in there. It works. I'm excited to try it out, but for tonight, it's time to go home. We got one more Christmas gathering yet, and then it's back to work, and we're gonna have to work hard.